If you're looking to get paid to craft, paint art, and make collectibles in 2020, a great fair side hustle here right at Freelancers. It's going to be covering Etsy and a little bit about different crafts you can make, and some might be more complicated than others. Some are for beginners, some are for more advanced individuals. But in 2020, there's a lot of different things you can make and resell fairly easily on Etsy and other platforms. But we're going to jump right into it here, but make sure to subscribe to the channel on the bottom right there for other videos just like this. I even have a series for a bunch of different videos, as you can see here. And Etsy, if you're not familiar, essentially they sell different kinds of crafts, and they go as a variety of different things from clay leaves, clay pots, little unique tables, unique furniture of other varying degrees, even jewelry, handbags, things like that. Uh, a lot of it's like gaudy jewelry, stuff like that. There's photography that sells. There's dolls and miniatures, sculptures, whole bunch of variety of different things. And as you can see here, lots of different categories, lots of different choices. It really depends on what you feel you might be viable in selling. And this person is selling paintings, $350 a pop, and it's a contemporary wall arts. It's not really all that exciting, but they sold over 350 variations of it. This person has a painted tree they sold for $540. There's 1,250 sales. So even with just basic painting and basic arts and craft skills, you can still make a little bit of monies on here. Even on the lower end, there's people that aren't really selling a whole lot and they're fairly new channels, and they're still selling a good bit. And the idea here is that you don't just sell one product, you sell a variety of different ones. And as you can see here, this is just one of the random examples I wanted to use here. I saw a do-it-yourself tutorial online, and it's about making clay leaves. Now, clay leaves aren't that complicated. You need air-dried clay or clay that you can cook in an oven, but air-dried clay, you can kind of dough it together, put a leaf in there, paint it, let it dry, and people resell it. Pretty straightforward here. You can see here some sales here, some sales here. This person has over 1,363, and he's just doing a tutorial for it. He's not really, or she's not really doing any kind of actual product. Got a kind of unique leaf here, the leaf of like a moon on it, and there really isn't anything all that special about it. They probably hire Instagram influencers and things like that to draw attention, or they just run unique Facebook ads. These are just some ways to kind of monetize it, just to give you an idea. As you can see here, clay leaf bowl, 14 sales. They sell them at $20.34. That's relatively expensive. If you're stumped on what kind of ideas you want to come up with, go to YouTube. There's tons of crafting unique ideas that you can make, and then you want to go back to Etsy and other websites like Etsy, and you do the comparison between the craft and the amount of people actually purchasing said craft and the popularity of it. So if you see someone with 200-300 sales in the last couple months, it's probably a viable product to consider. And then you can run an ad through Instagram, you can run an ad through Facebook, you can run an ad through a lot of these different platforms, even like a artsy influencer type channel, and you can get free exposure and or just a little bit of a cost exposure, and then you can get a lot of sales that way. It's kind of like the equivalent of drop shipping, but you're not really drop shipping. You're selling a physical product, but at the same time, you could sell it for a much higher marked up price than you might be able to sell something on eBay because it's a unique collectible. People like collectibles, so if you have the right audience for it, you can also build like Facebook groups, things like that. That's be something to consider where you have arts and crafts Facebook and you built up a fan base of a couple thousand people, and all you really need is 1 to 2 sales a day, and that can add up. Something else to consider if you're not all that crafty is that if you want to do the same thing I just mentioned, but in a 100% drop shipping manner, is that you can actually refer people to the people on Etsy. Obviously, you're not going to make as much, but there's no real effort involved. You just run Facebook ads, you run Instagram ads, you run all these different ads to kind of point back to whatever product you're trying to push. The nice thing is they have a 30-day cookie period, which basically means that if they visit the website at any point, okay, that means you have a 30-day window before they have to actually purchase anything. So in that 30-day window, if they see something else crafty wise that they like, if they purchase that, you get a percentage kickback, potentially up to 4% for the standard publisher rate, generated content 2%, cashback loyalty evaluated on an individual basis 2%. And they run over all the terms and conditions and stuff. You can check it out at Etsy's website. Some craft websites do better percentages than Etsy, but it's just an idea for kind of a freelance fast cash scenario video. I haven't did one in a while, so I wanted to kind of post it up just to give you guys an idea. Our main primary region is the United States of America. Obviously, if you're not from the US, you might have a hard time actually signing up with Etsy, so that is something also to consider. And the other thing I was going to cover here is that I have a Discord channel. If you want to check it out, it has various freelancing chat, stock market chat, things like that. You can check it out in the description below. But in general, the way Etsy works, you put a craft up, whatever it might be, and if you're able to create that craft and able to resell it, there's a lot of high marked up values. Someone's selling things like tables, someone's selling things like little obscure kitchen essentials. They're selling a lot of different things on here. Some of them sell well. This person's selling a portrait for $38 he has for sales, but that's 38 times 4 minus whatever the marketing cost he might have spent. This one has a kind of unique one here with Rick and Morty, 5 sales. A lot of these get some sales, and the idea is, and you don't just to stick with one, you come up with a multitude of them. And if you factor in the art supplies costs and things like that, some of it might be relatively inexpensive, some of it might be more. It kind of depends how you're painting, kind of depends what clay you're using. You can get clay for $5-10. You can get painting supplies for $10-15 if you're going on a lower quality painting supplies. You don't really need to spend a lot to make a lot, like this person here that I highlighted earlier in the video. It's basically an ornament with a moon face on it. It's kind of neat, but is it really worth $18? Not really. And I'd assume that the cost basis that they spent to actually create it did not take too long. My guess is it took them probably 10-20 minutes. So it's something easy to reproduce and remake over and over and over again. It has a unique appeal to it. And it's basically just a moon face ornament. There isn't anything all too special about it. I mean, you pay whatever the supplies cost to create such a thing. I don't know what their cost basis was. Then whatever it cost to ship. Don't know what their cost basis is on that. But they have 152 sales, so even if it was $10, that's a lot of money that they made just from selling a leaf with basically a moon on it. Once again, there's tons of different craft ideas that people cover in these videos, but you don't want to just pick any old craft. You want to pick something like, that would appeal to Facebook or would appeal to like a social aspect in that regard. And when you come up with that and you try it out, even on a trial basis, and see how popular it is, you might be surprised that something might be more popular and in more demand than you ever thought it would be. The only downside is that generally, if it's too popular, you might end up being with a backlog of orders, and you might have a hard time fulfilling all those orders. So you might get too many orders and too much money flow coming in, but not enough product being sent out. So when you start something like this, you want to make sure you make at least a small enough inventory, and you want to do like kind of split testing to make sure that you have enough of an interest in it. You want to make sure that there's actually sales coming in. Let me go all the way back here really quick. Like you want to make sure there's actually sales. Like some of these get sales, some of them don't get that many. Some get like kind of a mix. Kind of depends what exactly you're trying to sell. This is kind of the front page, so a lot of it's going to have a little bit of sales here. But the more obscure the item, you're not going to get as many sales, but it's a collective amount of sales that you can get from these different items, whether it's painting or just various crafts and things like that, even like pop-up books and stuff like that. They all have some kind of market value to them. And with Etsy, being as Etsy has unique products, the only place you can actually buy these products usually is on Etsy or a unique collectibles website that personally crafts these kind of things. So these are like personal craftsmen for your needs, whatever they might be. And they do a lot of different crafts. Like this is a mouse here. Okay? It has 479 sales. And it's a birthday needle felted mouse, white mouse miniature for a birthday or gift. It's kind of neat, but something tells me they specialize in this kind of skill, and they're selling this mouse for $54.90. I can't imagine that it cost anywhere near that to create that mouse. So my guess is their cost basis is less than $5. So they're likely making $45 per mouse that they sell, and they sold a lot of mice. They probably ran an ad on Facebook or ran an ad through a YouTube channel, and they got 479 sales. I don't know how long they've been doing this. You can jump in here and get an idea. And they've been on since 2016. They have 1,550 sales, so it's kind of a slow for some, busier for others. But I mean, 1,550 sales, even at those prices, 50 times 10 is $500. And this person is from Bulgaria. They're not from the United States. Anyone can kind of use this website. It doesn't. I don't know what the restrictions on the countries are, but most anybody can use this kind of website. And as you can see, I mean, a lot of different mice themes. I guess they're into that, as you can see. Uh, Little felted fairies and other little interesting crafts, so wool and stuff like that, wool blankets and for your dogs or whatever you might want to use it for, or for yourself. And that's the shop. It's pretty straightforward. There isn't a whole lot to prepping this here. The biggest prep is you want to find something that's actually viable to sell. Paintings seem to be a very popular thing, and they're selling at ridiculously inflated prices. You can always even outsource the painter to paint the product for you, and then you can resell it on Etsy. And being as that's the case, you can commission the painter and then you resell it on Etsy for a higher marked up price, and you could make a big sort of profit in that regard. We'll go to one of these popular ones here, just to give you guys an idea. Before I wrap up this video, I just wanted to show some examples into the video, also to push it to the at least 10-minute mark for the video, as you can see here. This is an abstract figurative painting on canvas, purple, red, blue, and 3,800, only one available. And this is what they're pricing it at. And these are some of the comments of different abstracts that they bought. And as you can see here, these are all recent sells, so people are buying these. I don't really understand why they're paying this much, but this is just an idea of the kind of profits you could be making. I mean, this person is doing a simple painting. It's really not that unique. Neither are a lot of the other ones that they've sold in the past. So I'm not really sure what the appeal is. I guess people like abstracts and artwork like that. As you can see, I mean, to some it might be popular depending on what it is. There is some unique artwork. I guess that she just caters to higher end kind of clientele. Obviously, you got these more basic wall art, ready to hang canvas paint, $50 to $80. That's probably where the bulk of her sales are. But she did seem to sell apparently some of the higher end paintings that she had as well. It's kind of mix and match as to what you might expect to get through Etsy and other platforms like it. And that's about all I wanted to cover in this video. So make sure to check out some of the other videos in the bottom left, bottom right. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want more videos just like this. Have a nice day.